Have you ever been intentional with consistent gratitude? Meaning, every day you acknowledge the things you're grateful for an extended period of time. If you have been intentional with gratitude and appreciation, you probably have noticed the benefits. The more grateful you are, the more you seem to have and the happier you seem to be. Not only that, when you appreciate what you currently have instead of focusing on what you don't have, you open the door for more. If you struggle with appreciating what you currently do have going for you, I want to help. In this episode, I'm sharing 7 ways to practice gratitude for what you currently have, and that will allow you to attract abundance into your life. Appreciating what you do have will ultimately help you manifest more.
Hey there, I'm Rhea Reeves, and over a decade ago, I turned my life around through budgeting. I went from being an overspender deep in credit card debt to being the founder and full-time money coach of City Girl Savings. Now, I help women work towards their dream life and tap into their financial power one budget at a time. I fully believe you can live a life you love with a budget, and I'm living proof. The weekly City Girl Savings podcast focuses on the intersection of money and the City Girl lifestyle. Join me every week along with some special guests as I share my experiences, advice, and guidance on navigating life and money as an experience-loving millennial.
So, while the focus of this episode is on attracting financial abundance, appreciating what you have and reaping the benefits really applies to every area of your life, not just money. If you can learn to appreciate the things that you do have going for you, you'll find that more good things make their way to you. Easy concept to explain, harder concept to understand logically. I get that. That's okay. Just bear with me and you will start noticing that mental shift, especially as you practice gratitude on a regular basis. So let's get into the 7 ways to appreciate what you have and attract abundance. First one, remember a time when you had less than what you have now. I think one of the easiest ways to show gratitude is to think back to a time when you had less and made less. Remember how tight things were? Remember how you wished to make more? Well, now you do, so appreciate it. Being someone with a futuristic strength, it can be hard for me to look at the past. Typically, I can only see where I'm trying to go. I only see the future. I see where I'm headed. And this actually makes it hard to appreciate my journey. So it takes a conscious effort for me. It's so easy to focus on where I want to be, especially when it comes to money and goals and the dream life. But I think it's really important to appreciate how far we've come. And I'm sharing this with you because it's something, again, that I struggle with, and I have to make that conscious effort to always think back to where I was. I remember there was a time where I wished I was a full-time business owner. There was a time where I wished I had, a second home in Palm Springs. I remember those times and those feelings and wondering how I will make it happen or what will life look like. And really taking a step to appreciate how far I've come instead of just focusing on, what's next, makes all the difference. I really don't think I'm alone in this. I think a lot of us forget to appreciate how far we've come. I think looking back at a time when we had less, whether that was less money, less resources, less time, less security, looking back at those things can really help put the present into perspective. I think this exercise really helps us appreciate what we have now. Even if it feels small or imperfect or we still want more, we can take the time to appreciate the present and how far we've come from the past. I think it's important to remember, and I'm telling myself this too, that gratitude is not just about the big wins in life, right? It's also about recognizing the progress that you've made from where you started. When you remember a time of less, you are reminded of the hard work you've put in and how much you've accomplished between then and now, even if it's on a small scale. Okay, moving on to the next way to appreciate what you have and attract more. Every time you spend money to sustain your lifestyle, express gratitude. What a blessing it is to be able to pay your bills. Some people have to decide between bills or food on the table. If you can pay your bills without thinking twice, appreciate it. Every time you go to pay a bill, every time you spend your money on something that helps sustain your lifestyle, so going to the grocery store, putting gas in your car, express how grateful you are for the ability to cover that expense. Even if you're only left with a small amount of money after all of your bills and spending are paid for, how great is it that you actually can afford the bills in your life? If you want to appreciate what you currently have, you need to appreciate the money you have, and you also need to appreciate the money you have to spend. When we spend money, especially on those recurring bills and expenses, it's very easy to fall into this mindset of resentment or just going through the motions, but we got to push past that. Gratitude for these expenses really reframes the way we view them, and it reminds us of the abundance we do have in our lives, really not focusing on the cost or the loss, right? We are reminded of abundance. We can cover these things. We are not focused on this being a loss of money or an extra cost or an extra expense. So start expressing gratitude every time you make a purchase, especially if it's a purchase that's a necessity for your home, your utilities, your transportation, your car. I know this can be difficult, but this real shift in your way of thinking can make all the difference. And doesn't have to be crazy, but really shift the narrative. So when you go to pay your rent, Thank God I have this roof over my head that I can afford. When you go to the grocery store, when you're cooking dinner, think, I am so grateful for the opportunity to enjoy this meal. And the most important thing is to just make this a habit. Always express gratitude when you spend your money on things that help you sustain your lifestyle. The next way to appreciate what you have and attract more into your life is to make sure the things that you love and enjoy the most are included in your budget. I'm telling you, you will appreciate your money so much more if you give yourself some room to enjoy life with. And when you create your budget, make sure you include the things you love. Yes, I've said this a million times. It may require moderated spending, right? You may not be able to spend all your money on all of the things you love, but something is better than nothing. Think about your budget non-negotiables, the things that, like, no matter what, you want to make sure you prioritize, and make a conscious effort to factor those things into your budget. That way, when you do spend your money on those things, you really won't feel bad about it because they are accounted for. I share my budget non-negotiables in episode 70 of this podcast. I'll link to it in the show notes if you want to check it out and just get some ideas. But not only will including the things you love in your budget help you stay consistent with budgeting and managing your money, you will appreciate your money a lot more because you get to spend it on things that you truly love and truly care about. And I think that's such a great feeling to have. So if you are feeling like your budget doesn't currently include the things you love, let's take a closer look. Look to see how your money is currently allocated. Sometimes we just need to look at things with a different perspective, a different eye. If you confirm that your budget really does not include the things you love, then let's make sure to start allocating those things, right? Put your income towards those things in moderation so that you do have this element of happiness and joy when it comes to budgeting. So whether that's entertainment, fitness, a passion project, just allow yourself and your budget some room for those expenses so that your budget can support your lifestyle, not restrict it.
Are you loving this episode so far? Well, the money and life level up conversations never end in the City Girl Savings community. Visit citygirlsavings.com for instant access to resources that help you budget, level up your money mindset, and so much more. And make sure you stay up to date with CGS by following us on Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube, all at City Girl Savings.
All right, the next way to appreciate what you have and attract more abundance is to acknowledge that your current money can help you make more money. So, another idea to really help you appreciate your current situation and ultimately attract more is to recognize how your current money, your current income can help you build more and make more. And this can happen in a variety of ways, right? One way is in the present, and it's keeping your money in like a high yield savings account. Because high yield savings accounts typically offer the best interest rates when it comes to savings accounts, every month you'll see a nice little bump in your savings thanks to the interest, right? So that is an example of your current money, the money you currently have, helping you make more. Keeping that money in a savings account, in a high yield savings account more specifically. Another way, and this way is a little bit more future focused, is by saving for retirement or just investing your money for the long term. So when you are invested over the long term, your money can grow as much as 10% or more. And what a blessing to have your current money make you even more money in the future. I think when we see money as a means of building wealth rather than just something to spend, we tap into its true potential. And acknowledging this allows you to see opportunities where others may see limitations, right? And that's what opens the door for growth. So really think about the current money you make and how you're leveraging it to help you make more. Appreciate the ways that you are already setting yourself up for success. So if you're saving in a high yield savings account, if you're contributing to a retirement plan, and then start thinking about ways that you can continue to capitalize on that. Moving on to the next way to appreciate what you have and attract more abundance into your life, write down 5 things you're grateful for every day. Now, I know this may seem like an obvious tip or an obvious piece of advice, but the power of repetition and consistency is literally unmatched. Every day, writing out a list of 5 things you're grateful for can really help you tap into your own gratitude reserve, right? Like every time you write down 5 things that you're grateful for, you're filling up your gratitude cup. You're filling up your gratitude bank account. And the simple act of writing down what you're grateful for forces you to pause and reflect and think about the positive aspects of your life. It is so easy to get caught up in what's not working, what you don't have, where you want to be. But taking the time to write down your blessings really helps reframe your mindset to one of abundance. And it's pretty similar to what we had talked about a little bit earlier of thinking back to a time when you had less, right? Making the habit of writing things down that you're grateful for every day takes you back to a place of gratitude, right? It really puts you in this position where you're focused on what is going right and what you are grateful for. And I do want to just add that when you're writing down the 5 things you're grateful for, so this gratitude list that you make every day, it does not always have to be big, amazing things or wins, right? It can be as simple as a good cup of coffee. That's what you're grateful for today, or just a peaceful moment in your day. I think the most important thing to keep in mind here is the goal is to make gratitude a daily practice. So if you can't really think of much today or nothing big or amazing is happening, focus on the small little wins that are going right and make sure you write those things down. Another way to appreciate what you have and attract more abundance into your life is to seek out more information to help you reach new levels. So if you want to attract abundance into your life, taking the time to learn more about personal finance is such a great way to start. When you take the time to seek out information to help you reach those new levels, it means that you're taking it seriously. You are putting your time into something that actually matters to you. And it means that you're willing to put in the work and the effort. And the results that come with you taking your money seriously and working to level up your life and money are truly tremendous. I want you to understand that abundance isn't just about money. It's about mindset and knowledge. The more information you have, the more you can apply that information to improving your situation, not just financially, but your health, your relationships, your work, right? This applies in every area of your life. Seeking out new information puts you in the driver's seat of your future, financial or otherwise. And there are a variety of ways you can prove your literacy. And getting specific to financial literacy, you can read personal finance books, consume personal finance content, listen to podcast episodes, work with a money coach, work with a therapist, read magazines or newspaper articles. So there really is an abundance of education and information out there. You just have to be willing to seek it. The final way to appreciate what you have and attract more abundance into your life is to respect your money by being mindful about how you leverage it. So when you respect something, you appreciate it more. Learn to respect your money by being mindful and intentional with how you use it. Instead of just mindlessly spending, be conscious and aware of where your dollars go. Over time, you'll find that you don't want to disrespect the cash. You don't want to disrespect your money by sending it somewhere it doesn't belong. So how you can start practicing this is before you go make a purchase or before you make a financial decision, pause and ask yourself, does this purchase, does this decision align with my goals? Does this purchase or decision reflect my values? Will this purchase or decision help me attract more abundance? So if the answer is no, maybe it's something you think twice on. If the answer is yes, then at least you can feel confident in making that purchase or that decision. So practice mindful spending to show respect for your financial future. Respecting your money by being mindful about how you spend it, how you invest it, how you save it, ensures that it's working in harmony with your life and your goals and your hopes and desires. And when you're mindful, you spend consciously and you make decisions that will really create that long-term prosperity for yourself, not just short-term gratification. So let me make one thing clear before we wrap. Just because you appreciate the money you have or you appreciate the current things you have doesn't mean you can't work towards more. Okay, so just because we're taking time to appreciate our current situation and practice gratitude for what we currently have does not mean that we don't have to think about what we're working towards. Okay, the point is to be grateful for where you are currently, what you have currently, so you're not constantly focused on what you don't have. This is key to attracting abundance. So keep working for your goals, but appreciate the journey along the way.
Thank you so much for letting me be the money coach in your ear today. I hope you enjoyed this episode of the City Girl Savings Podcast and you feel empowered and motivated to take the next step in the journey to your dream life. Remember, if someone like me, a millennial who loves to travel, new experiences, and iced coffees can live a life they love on a budget, you can too.